guys, welcome back to another episode of I Have a Dreamcast. Now it's been quite a few months since the last episode because, as you know, we were very near to finishing the PAL collection in the last episode. So PAL pickups have been few and far between, obviously, but we've got a few imports here and a couple of indie games to show, so it should be a good one. So firstly today I'm just going to quickly show this, which isn't a game, but it's the Dreamcast Junkyard Ultimate Collector's Guide. Now this is fantastic. It's just a little booklet, I think it was 10 quid, and it's basically checklists, but it is more than that. So you've got each region, PAL US and Japan, you've got a checklist of every single game available, so would have been useful to me actually before I started going for the full PAL set. But yeah, it's really detailed, but the reason I wanted it is mainly because it's got this Japanese accessibility guide. So let me just be able to find it here. Yeah, Japanese games accessibility for non-Japanese speakers. So if you collect Japanese Dreamcast games, but like me you don't speak Japanese, you want to know before you buy the game, are you going to be able to play it and understand it? So obviously that rules most RPGs and what have you out. But it has like an A list, B, C, D, I think it goes down to E. Yeah, oh maybe it goes down to D. Oh no, there is a small E list. So E being completely inaccessible, and A being games that you can quite happily play without knowing any Japanese. So just glancing, we've got games like Crazy Taxi and some fighters like Capcom SNK and what have you. Some shooters, just games that you can play without knowing any Japanese at all. Zero Gunner 2's on there on the A list, that's one of my favourites, and I can tell you certainly don't need to know any Japanese to play that. So yeah, really fantastic little guide. Sadly, they got a cease and desist letter from Sega shortly after this was released. So luckily I ordered my copy within hours of it being available. But yeah, they got a few out, and then they've got a letter from Sega saying yada yada legal action if you don't pull it. So unfortunately they pulled it, but I think they're kind of working out how they can re-release it, like maybe because it doesn't say anything about not being officially endorsed by Sega and all that jazz. I mean, people are releasing non-official games for the Dreamcast all the time, and they don't get these letters, or maybe they do get these letters and they choose to ignore them, I don't know. But hopefully it'll be re-released, so keep an eye out on the Dreamcast Junkyard website for that. Next up, which if you've seen my last video, you'll know that it's the 2 copies of Pier Solar for the Dreamcast. So long wait for that, it's finally here. If you haven't seen the last video, I'm not going to bother explaining how I ended up with 2 copies, but if you're interested, go back and watch that and see a little bit of gameplay on it as well, and an unboxing. Right. Next up, just a little accessory I picked up. Well, it's not even an accessory, it's just a box. I've got a few of these, but I've only got one boxed, and it's a VMU official box. It popped up for like 4 quid on eBay, and I thought, yeah, great, I would like another one boxed. And it's almost mint in box, so for 4 quid posted, I thought, why not? I'll pick that up for one of my loose VMUs. This one came yesterday actually. Obviously focusing a little bit more on the import games I want, so there's quite a few US games I want, and there's various shooters and fighters on the Japanese side. So this is one I hadn't had my eye on, never played, and that's Alien Front Online. So that's US exclusive, I believe, but it comes in this box set. I'll just quickly show you the inside. It's got the microphone in there and everything all complete, and a nice surprise I didn't realise, but the game's actually sealed in there. So I don't know if that's exclusively an online game or if you can play it offline, but yeah, quite keen to have a bash on that. And yeah, had my eye on the box set for a while, ended up getting it for about a tenner I think, so I was really happy to pay that, and it was a UK seller. Another one that's actually quite funny story. another US import. Now this one is available in Japan, but the US version always goes for substantially more than the Japanese version, presumably due to it being in English text. But it's been on my radar for some time, and one of the guys on the group Galaxy Sega was selling some games, and I agreed to buy this game for a fantastic price. Like, he did me a really good price, and yeah, in the end I waited a while, and it turned out he'd forgotten to send it, and I waited a bit more, and yada yada, and then it eventually got lost in the post. And you know, because I know him, I was patient, and it ended up going 7 weeks, and since I'd paid for the game and I hadn't had it, and I kind of messaged him saying, look, it's been 7 weeks, I think it's a write-off, you know, you might as well just give me my money back. And he was like, shit, 7 weeks, Jesus Christ, he didn't even realise. And very kindly, fair play to him, he sent me his own copy from his collection, rather than refund me, so really appreciate that. And that game is Fatal Fury Mark of the Wolves, so in Japan it's Garou Mark of the Wolves, so really chuffed to have that US version there. Brilliant SNK fighter, and yeah, like I said, there's quite a few fighters, mostly SNK ones, that I have got my eye on for the US Dreamcast, so yeah, really good to get that one out of the way. That's one of the bigger ones, I think. Right, another indie release that came out ages ago now. That's how long since I've done a video. Now, I did kind of do a little gameplay / review of this, but I had all sorts of troubles with my capture card, and I tried doing the video about 3 times and it fucked up every time, and I just got the arsehole basically, and I scrapped it. Not to say that I won't do another one in the future, but you never know. But that game's Fruity. Now, let me just tell you where you can buy this, because it's been a while. So if you go to retroguru.com or the Dragon Box Shop. Now, Retroguru released this game kind of abruptly. I hadn't heard much about it before it appeared for sale. Now, I think it was €3, if you can believe. Now, how they got a physical copy of a Dreamcast game released in a box with cover artwork and everything. There's no manual or anything, but it's, you know, it's decent, and it's €3. It was mad. I think with shipping it was about £7 to the UK, and I've heard other people saying it was about $10–11 if you want to get it shipped over to the US. So yeah, just Google Fruity Retro Guru and I'm sure you'll find it for sale. Definitely worth a pump, €3. It's kind of like a mobile game, like a little puzzle game involving fruits, hence the name, but it's quite fun. Definitely worth a pump, €3. So I may do a gameplay on that, I don't know, so keep an eye out. This is one that I have one of them or 2 of them, and I think there's 4 in the series, and this popped up for like £3 UK seller, so I grabbed it. I want to grab them all. There is a controller that goes with this series, which I've kind of got my eye on, but it very rarely pops up boxed, and I do want a boxed one. But that's Poppin' Music, so it's like a rhythm action game, and that's the original there. I think I've got 2 and 3, or maybe just 2. This one I actually forgot I had, and I've still been kind of following it on eBay when it pops up. So when I was going through my backlog of games for the past few months of pickups to do this video, I found this in there, so it was a nice surprise. I can't remember what I paid, but from memory it was way less than a tenner. It was a really good price. Anyway, another US exclusive, one that looks really interesting actually. It's kind of like a space shooter, but yeah, it looks great, and that's Armada. So not played that yet, but really keen to have a bash on that. Got my eye on this one for a while, and also that Bang Gunship Elite, which I do have a ripped copy of, but I want the physical copy. That's another US release. They don't go for a whole lot of money, but nice to pick off a few of the NTSCU exclusives that I need. Now we're getting towards the end of the PAL set. So I think this is the last import, and this is a cracking game. I've been looking for this one. Again, not one that goes for much money, but I wanted it complete with the, it comes with a little mini soundtrack CD. Those of you in the know, that probably gives away what the game is, and that is Guilty Gear X. So another cracking game there by Arc System Works, who made Blaze Blue and the modern Guilty Gear games. However, oh yeah, it does say Arc System Works 2000 and published by Sammy. But yeah, it's complete with, let me just show you. It's got spine card in there, but not fussed. I've never been one to be fussed about spine cards at all. If they've got one, it's a bonus, but I'm not going to, you know, it's not going to make or break a deal for me whether there's a spine card. But this is the little mini soundtrack CD, and it's like a little GameCube size CD, but it's, you know, a strange shape there. But yeah, I was really happy to get that. I think that was from Steve Bailey on Facebook. It was probably about £9, or we're going back so long now I can't remember. So before we get to any PAL stuff, there's one more thing, another indie release that I first heard about at Play Blackpool. So we're going back towards the start of the year now, and the guys who made the game were selling it there. And yeah, managed to pick one up on their site, just hadn't got round to it, and because I kind of, you know, getting towards the end of the PAL set, I do want to finish off the indie set as well, so all the indie releases for the Dreamcast. There aren't that many. I'm not fussed about getting all iterations of a game, so I don't want to get like the regular, the limited and the collector's edition of every game. I'm happy to have one copy of the game as long as I've got a copy of every single indie game. So yeah, this is one, it's quite recent, and that is James and Watch ARM. So they're basically based on Game & Watch games, if you can see there, and this one is based on a true story where the guy broke his arm doing something. But yeah, they're quite budget sort of cases and discs, but you know, never mind. This is the special edition, and it's number 21 of 69. I'm quite surprised they still have any of these left after so long. You'd think they'd sell 69 of these easily, you know, in a weekend at Play Blackpool, but now they're you know, months on and they've still got them. So yeah, happy to have picked up a special edition one. But yeah, haven't tried that yet, but we'll check it out. If you want to buy a copy, I can't remember, oh, it's Lancaster Media, but if you Google James and Watch Dreamcast, pick yourself up a copy of this game. And the special edition comes with a mug. Let's just open it up. So there you go, you've got the James and Watch Dreamcast mug there that comes with the special edition. Okay, so that's it guys, apart from PAL stuff. Now, as is appearing in one corner or other, is the number that we were on many months ago when I last did an episode. Now, obviously quite close to the final number. Now, not long after that, I picked this one up. And this is far and away the most expensive PAL Dreamcast game. If I had to do it all again, I would get the most expensive ones out the way first, not too expensive ones last. But yeah, I managed to get a good price on this. I hunted and hunted, and I got outbid on numerous auctions, and I had in my mind the maximum I wanted to pay. And it's so tempting when you get that late in a full set just to go, you know, crazy and pay full price for anything. But I've paid under on every single game in the collection, and I just didn't want to end by breaking that rule. I wanted to end on you know, underpaying on everything. So yeah, shopped around for months and months and eventually got a really good price on this one. I think it was from Spain, or it was from some European country anyway. So yeah, without further ado, that game is Evolution 2. Now, I've said before numerous times that I don't think, people say, oh, what are the rare Dreamcast games? I don't think any are rare, honestly. I don't think any games are rare. People often cite Taxi 2, but they're not rare at all. I think if you want to talk about the rarer end of the collection, then I'd definitely put Bass Fishing 2 box set up there, and this one, because this was quite a late release and not many people bought it. I don't know if that's because it was an RPG or what, but they seem to be quite thin on the ground, but nevertheless they are available on eBay. So really happy to get this one out the way. So that leaves us at 215 with one left. So last game had a bit of a nightmare with what happened. So yeah, shopping around for ages, couldn't find one at a decent price. There are tons and tons of this game on eBay. You go on eBay now, I guarantee you there's a ton of listings for this game, but I don't want to pay that price. I wanted to at least shave off, you know, 10-20% at least of the price. So I went to Play Manchester. Looked absolutely everywhere. I even had other people looking out for me for this game, and I'd been saying it was my last game on the list, and no one had it. It was an absolute nightmare, and the reception's very bad in Play in the Expo. And one evening after leaving, I think it was on the Saturday, this game had popped up on one of the on the Facebook pages for a very good price, and I missed it. Not by much actually. I was just too late and someone else snagged it, so I was gutted, absolutely gutted. Shopping around on eBay, eventually found one from a Spanish seller, but the whole listing was in Spanish, so I was kind of trying to understand what they were trying to say in Spanish, so I messaged them in Spanish, but my Spanish is okay, but it is quite primitive, relatively. I'm not fluent by any means, so I messaged him in Spanish just saying, look, what it said on the listing was the manual is cut. Now in Spanish, when they say like the word cut, it could mean like cut, torn, ripped, all sorts of things, whereas in English we'd have, say, like 20 synonyms for this word, like cut, torn, ripped, shredded, blah blah blah. They'll have like one word meaning all that. So you don't know exactly what they're trying to say. So that's what I was trying to ascertain anyway, talking to this guy. Anyway, he just said the manual's cut and the front is cut. Exact words, front. So I was like, okay, so this particular version, it comes with two manuals. It comes with the English and something manual, and it comes with another manual, and the other manual was kind of cut anyway, and it's black and white, and I thought, well, the English manual's decent, that doesn't matter, but the concern was the front is cut. So I said, can I have detailed pictures of the front and everything, and he sent me pictures of the inlay and the front, and it looked fine. There was not a cut on it, there was not a rip on it, it didn't look like it had been trimmed, nothing. So I thought, great, I'll take that. Good price as well, and it was actually less than it popped up on Facebook. So eventually it arrived, and the spine had been completely fucking cut off, like some nutcase. Like, if you look at this Evolution 2 there on the spine, it's the back inlay and it folds up, as you know if you've got any PAL Dreamcast games, but he'd cut it across there, it had been completely cut, so the spine was gone. So obviously completely useless to me. So I messaged the seller straight away, look, when you said front, you didn't mention the spine was cut, and obviously that's no good to me, I'm gonna have to send it back. And they were a bit funny at first, but then they agreed, look, you can send it back. So I sent it back and got a refund, and I was very obviously disappointed because I thought, you know, that's the set done, and it wasn't. Anyway, lo and behold, about 2 weeks after I sent it back, one popped up for auction on eBay, and it started about 99 pence, and I was watching it, and then one popped up, buy it now at a great price, and I thought, do I ride out the auction or do I just grab this, buy it now? And judging by recent sales of auctions, because like I said, I've been outbidding a lot of auctions, I thought that the auction will definitely go over this buy it now price. So I jumped on it, I bought it, buy it now. And yes, the auction did end substantially higher than I paid for this game. And this was even lower than the Spanish one, so I ended up getting about just over 20% off the usual price. So I was overjoyed, and yes indeed, that is Moho, and that is a full PAL Dreamcast set with all the box sets. Really chuffed. It's kind of funny to be doing the video actually, because just saying it like that, it kind of sinks in. But yeah, that's 216 games, or wherever the counter is, maybe it's over there. 216 PAL games, all complete, plus all 4 box sets. Really chuffed. It's been a long ride, and it's been really fun actually. I think I decided to go for a full PAL set in March. I'd have to look back to the first episode, and I think I had about 94 games, so I was well on the way anyway. And I didn't think I would do it this quickly, but I've been really lucky. I've had a lot of help as well, and yeah, been really lucky with prices and getting bundles and doing deals, and managed to do it at really good prices and not break the bank. So totally overjoyed to have the full set. I never thought I'd own a full set of anything. I know the Dreamcast set is a relatively easy one, but really chuffed to have done it. And yeah, on to the indie games and import games now. So this series will continue for those pickups, for the indie and the import pickups. So yeah, that's it guys. And like I said, so many people have helped me. YouTubers, Facebook, other people have helped me, and there will be a little credits roll here just to say thank you to anyone who's sold me a game, done me a deal, pointed me in the direction of a good deal, or helped me in any other way. So yeah, thanks in advance to everybody on the list. Much appreciated, and I'll see you soon guys. Cheers.